Absolutely every single one of us was born to make art. And when you stop making art, you die. In 2012, we opened the Gorilla House. It was a space for artists to gather, to make artwork in the public, and to connect with people. Every Wednesday, 81 Wednesdays in a row, we would rush down to the gallery after a full day of teaching with an hour to set up, eat, change, and get ready for our 7 o'clock event. By 6:50, the place was empty, and I would wonder, what am I going to do with this space? All at once, our host would arrive, our videographer would arrive, and about 30 or 40 professional artists, students, teachers, art instructors would all show up just in time for sound check. We'd spin a wheel, come up with 3 random ideas. You could ignore the ideas if you wanted. We'd paint for 2 hours with the public wandering in, bumping into us, talking to us. We auctioned the work off at 9. The auction was very special because the people in the auction saw the artwork being made. By 11 o'clock, we'd be cleaning up, waiting for a video to download. We cut a 7-minute film to upload every weekend. We get home just in time to close our eyes, be back at school teaching the next day. What did I learn at Gorilla House? I learned vulnerability and humility. And I learned that absolutely every single one of us was born to make art. Now, while kids know this, it needs to be the first lesson at school. So I'd walk into the classroom and I'd say, "What are you studying?" This is by Carl White, by the way, one of my favorite painters. And they'd say Columbus. And I'd say, "What does he look like?" So we look him up in a book. And I'd say, "No, Columbus was lost at sea. He didn't look like that." And so we'd draw him. Can you see this in the back? That's pee. And for better or worse, he was in our heads forever. The kids were in a rush to finish. They come up to my desk and they say, "What do I do when I'm done?" And I say, "You're not done." They say, "What do I do when I'm done?" I said, "You're not going to like it." They say, "What do I do when I'm done?" I said, "You die." Then I explained to them, this is our genetic heritage. You're born to do this. You're going to be reaching for this the rest of your life. And if you figure out what I have to say, you're going to draw every day until you're very old. And when you can't hold a pencil anymore, and you do die, then you can stop making art. But until then, you're not done. I don't want to make it sound easy. I've quit many times. The last time, I just walked by the staff room, and there was this angry little kid. He just bit his teacher. And I knew not to talk to him, so I sat down next to him, and I started to draw. And he looked at me, and he said, "Is that me?" And I thought, I'm not talking to you, because you bite. He said, "I want to draw too." I gave him a piece of paper, and I drew him, and he drew me. And when he calmed down, I said, "What are you even mad at?" And he reached over and he put a question mark over top of his head. And I got it. And I said, "Yeah, man, sometimes I get mad too." That's when I realized that I had art upside down, and that every single one of us was born to make art. So how do I know? Well, I know because we're here, and because otherwise we'd be smashing each other over the head with rocks. We use drama to solve problems that we wouldn't want to live through. We use dance to make physical connection in a way that's safe. We use song to bring our voices together. I use visual art to get out of the cage. To me, the cage is my head. I say, "I love blue." I know I don't mean the same blue as you. And when I say love, I mean I love you like my best friend. And you might be hearing, "He loves like penguins." And it leaves us feeling empty. And I think it's why we buy so much useless stuff. it's not completely hopeless. Because I think every now and then when you're reading Hemingway, or you look at a Van Gogh, or you just look at your best friend in the eye, you get the shiver that shoots up the back of your neck. You know you've made a connection. You know that it's real. It's why we fought so hard for our guerrilla house. We had battles, and they weren't at all competitive. Every now and then you'd look at your painting like, I killed it. Then you'd look over and say, I just got my ass handed to me by an 11-year-old. It wasn't until we opened the doors to everyone we learned the magnitude of what we were doing. We gave it a name. We called it inclusionism. We wrote the Inclusionist Manifesto, and I think you can find it online if you're interested. To start, know that finding your contemporaries is absolutely essential to your sustainability. Know that making connection is everything. Know that there's great freedom in letting go of the art. If you can imagine walking into a barn dance, and people are touching and moving, making contact. At the end of the night, there's these dusty footprints on the floor. Those dusty footprints are the residue of the contact. They're evidence of what matters. Our guerrilla house is residue. We spent 1.5 years cleaning up our building. And the owner sold the building. And for 11 months, we had no house. It doesn't matter. We've got a new space. It's called Rumble House. We could lose that too. It won't matter either. Because we've seen it. Put it in our heads. We have it forever. I would like to invite you to become inclusionists. Find your way to make your mark. Don't ask for permission. Know that every single one of us was born to make art, and that when you stop making art, you die. And when you do, make sure you leave a dent. Thank you very much.